There we are. Now, let's have a look. First of all, the way I'm holding the pencil, very important now, because we want to put some light in on those areas we've already established. That, and move it down. You have to do it this way. If you tried using the point, it wouldn't work. It has to be the way I'm showing you. Lovely. Now we start thinking about, let's just a little more at the top there. I have to move this round. So maybe we'll have just one or two in there. Okay. Now we have the, I can find it, here we are. This is 182. And that goes in, well, it's here and there. I mean, I can't really tell you exactly where. You've just got to feel your way around yourself. Go from there. And then we need a bit of 187. And a little bit of white just to put in areas where you want the lightest areas, highlights to be. Now, what we then do is we use our black again and deepen some of the areas up. Oh, black, got to make sure the right one. Now here we've got, it's a contrast, all about contrast. It's not until you do this that you can see where you need that contrast to be. You see how that's beginning to work? Coming from here. And there'll be one final touch that I'll show you in a moment. When I've done the whole head of hair, I'll show you that. Now that makes the contrast of the lighter colours so much richer. And if you want to, nothing wrong with just a little blend, just to create the effect. There we are. Now that looks nice, doesn't it? Let me just show you though, before we move on to the next one, how we would create the edge, because what we don't want to do, I'll do that in a minute, we want some of the hair to be falling like that. So we'll just do that bit there. It's going to be interesting, this particular side, because it's got some nice waves in it. like that. So this comes down here. Now the colour, the one I'm using is 177, but I'm using it this time on the point. You see that, where before I was using it on the side. Much more natural looking. Okay. Lovely, isn't it? Okay, let me just finish that off then, and then I'll do this side in the stop-start again without talking, because you've had enough of me chatting on, and I'll show you how this is going to turn out in the end. But as I said, we still got things we need to do to the hair, finishing touches. Very last stages now, and now it's time for some magic. If you haven't seen enough of it already, it tends to look a little bit on the muddy side, but still I think you'll agree it looks pretty fantastic. Now we've got to put the light in. Now we can do what I showed you before, that is, if you haven't got any sticks, which I'm going to show you in a minute, you can then go back in with your ivory pencil and just put in the lights as I showed you on the other side, to give you the highlights. It works very well. But there is a better way, folks, and that is to use some of these. Now these are polychromos. Now, I'm going to select a few of these, probably the right colours to use. I know I've got a whole bunch of them here. Let's just pull down so you can see them better. That's better. A whole bunch of them, but they are a little softer than the pencils. So let me just show you how they work. I'll keep these here and you can see what I'm picking up. I'm using an ivory now, same colour I use here, but you see the difference. So you can then creep colours that you couldn't ordinarily creep in. You can do this with soft pastel too, but soft pastel doesn't quite work as well with the pastel pencil as these do. Now, I've only selected a few here, but you can, there's a whole range of them. But I'll only just select a few to show you how it all works. The ivory is the main colour that I'm going to be using, because that gives me, see this little flick that I was looking at earlier as the hair flicks round. And you can blend these in exactly the same way as we did with the pencils. Let's just do a little bit here, a little bit more here. And you can also combine them. For instance, I've got a colour in my range. This is 186, which is very similar to the 187, but it's a little softer. And we can even incorporate that in with it. You see that? If we want to make just a little bit more richness. Now that is stunning. Let me just pull that round and show you. You see? Anyway, let me continue with this. Again, I'll continue in the way I've done before, where you see it, but I'm not doing any chatting. And you can see how different parts of this react differently. And the other thing I will also use at the same time is a little bit of white. Now you can be careful with white, but it's only in the lightest area that you want to see that. See how different that is? Okay, let me just carry on with that then. There we are, that's nearly finished. What I'm doing now with my finger is I'm just very, very lightly touching it, just to smooth in the edges so that we get a much more attractive. This will show up quite nicely just here, look, just as we bring the finger down. I'm not pressing very hard, it's a very light touch. All I'm doing is trying to just smooth just a little bit of that in. And we get just a fantastic effect like that. And there's really no reason why, having done that, you can't put some different colours in. Now I'm going to put a little bit of red in here. Very deep red. Just a little. It is artwork after all, and there's nothing wrong with colour. And maybe there's a little lighter red here. That was the dark. This is a little lighter. And I've noticed when you put red and you put blue together, you get a really, really attractive tone. There we are, see a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Now, I doubt if you'll see too much of that, but it's just there. And you'd only put it in areas where, like along there, where it's a little dull, little dark maybe. And just there would be another area, so just put a little bit of blue. A little bit of red in there. No need to blend now because we've already blended once, so this is just something that goes on at the end. And there we are, look, isn't that pretty? I said don't need to blend, I'm blending, but I just felt I needed to. Now I'm just going to finish this off now, and then you can have a look at it when it's all done. Now we could call that finished, and all I'm doing now is just using my very sharp ivory just to put some hairs in. I've done most of it already, but it does take a little bit of time. Now you can't hope to replicate a human hair, you can't get it fine enough, pastel pencil, but what you can do is you can just stop the hair from being too clumpy. And I'm using now the 177, so the two colours together would work, giving us that effect. Now, I don't think I want to do any more, but I think you can get the general gist. Let me just show you one other small thing that I just see that we could just improve upon just a little bit more there. I've already, it's a little flick of the hair that's coming up. And I like that. Oh, that's nice. From there, and once again, just counteract that by the darker colour as well. That's beautiful. Well, I think she looks stunning. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing it for you, and I shall be doing many more of these. Particularly I shall be doing this area, so watch out for that.